Hi guys, this is App Unwrapper. I'm here with Onirim. Just got a big update, and that's one of the things included in the update ads. Okay. I'm on my iPad so you guys can see everything bigger, but most of my games are on my iPhone. I played over 1,000 games, 1,100 games by now. I really like this game. It's one of my favorites of the year, possibly ever. I have put a lot of time into it. So I have a lot to say about this update. It added an expansion called Crossroads and Dead Ends. And you can see Crossroads and Dead Ends. The difference is that there are 6 Crossroads cards and 10 Dead End cards. And the Crossroads are like wild cards. They can be any color. Sorry about the noise outside. They can be any color, so they can work with the location cards, a key card, anything. They are the same thing, but they're wild cards. They can take the place of any other card, and it's a little too easy. I'm not finding it very challenging compared to the main game or even the glyphs. The Dead Ends, they don't do anything. You can't discard them other than using a nightmare or emptying your whole hand, and you can't play them. But honestly, they don't seem to bother me much, because what's the problem? You get your hand full of them, you just get rid of them. I don't see how they add much. The only thing is for the new scoring system, which I'll get to later, that it does play a part in. So the Crossroads basically just feels like a much easier version of the game to me, honestly, because it's wild cards. You don't have any new doors. The glyphs was harder. It added the glyph cards, but you had 4 extra doors to open, so that made it balanced out. Here you get all these extra cards, but no real downside. Nothing really to balance it out. So when it's basically, that's pretty much with the Crossroads. There's not that much else to say. But I wanted to show you, before I get into that, the scoring that the game added. So now, I mean, originally you had statistics. If you want it. Let's go back. This is my iPad, so there's very little on it. I have 1,000 games on the other one. But it just tells you total play, total won, the winning ratio, best remaining, average remaining. That's it. But now, if you go to look at the scoring, look at what they did. So now there's a leaderboard, and you get scored by how you play, not just winning, not just how many cards, but how you play, how fast you play. There's a timer now. So, for a relaxed game. So, for a series of 3 cards to open a door, you get 10 points per star, 20 points per moon, 50 points per key. Then there's bonus points. Sorry about the noise. This is where it gets a little maddening. There's bonus points depending on whether you continue a chain 3, 3, 3, 3, or if you break it up with the one that's not part of 3. So let's say you do sun, moon, sun, and you're not finding any moons in the right. You're not finding a moon, sun, moon. So, but you have a free moon that you don't need. Usually, in the regular game, you would place that and then do the sun, moon, sun of the one you need. But here, that would cost you points. It's really weird, because that's a strategy. It's like removing strategy. You're trying to win. You're trying to beat the game as quickly as possible and as few moves as possible without wasting as many cards as possible. But the game is like, no, you have to throw out more cards to try to get points. It's like the complete opposite of what the original game is. So so if this sounds a little ranty, sorry. If this sounds a little ranty, it's because I've been playing a lot, and I really don't like what they did with this scoring. So then there's specific event points. Now, if you use a key, just a key to unlock the door, you only get 100 points for it. Now, if you read above, if you continuously do 3 cards, 3 cards, 3 cards, you could end up with 3 cards near the end of your game giving you 1,000 points just for opening one door. But if you use, so let's say at the end of the game you have a star, moon, and key card of the same color available. Normally, and you know there's a door coming up, normally you would try to save your cards, those extra 2 cards, and just use the key card to open the door. But if you do that, you only get 100 points, whereas if you set things up properly in the game and you were just going 3-3-3, you could potentially end up with a lot more than 100 points. It's weird. It doesn't really make that much sense. And then you get 200 points for each nightmare discarded using a prophecy. So my problem with this is that that's also part of the strategy. It's risk, reward, mitigating luck. If you have a key in your hand and you think there might be a nightmare coming, you have a choice. You can hold on to the key, use the key as a location card, you know, as one of the 3 in a series, put it on the table, or you could use a prophecy and hope that the nightmare ends up in there and that you could discard it. But all those things, what you choose is all part of your strategy. You might choose right, you might choose wrong, but it's a calculated risk, what you're doing. Now what the game is telling you is, if you use that key as a prophecy and there ends up being a nightmare in there and you discard it, you get an extra 200 points to your score. Now if you hold on to that key and you still get a nightmare and you use the key to discard it, you get no points. It's the same result, but you get no points, and it really bugs me. And if you use the key and you end up losing cards you don't need anyway, like let's say you know that the rest of the cards besides the key you don't really need, so you don't care if the nightmare gets rid of them. It doesn't matter, you lost points just by not using the key to get rid of the nightmare. It's a little maddening. And then final bonus points, you get extra points for for taking less time. It's not less moves, less time, and then also for having more cards left at the end. But those both really pale in comparison to getting rid of nightmares, getting rid of the dead ends, and just having 3-3-3-3-3. But it turns out, so let me go back and show you the scoring for both the glyphs. So the glyphs, you get extra points for using a glyph. Why? Why is that? I don't get it. And an extra 200 points per door. No, specifically 200 points. So if you open a door via an incantation, you get more points, double, than if you open via a key. Weird. And now, the Crossroads, the scoring, this is also maddening. So you get an extra 50 points using a wild card key. A wild key card. Why? Just because you're using a wild card, you get an extra 50 points. And you get 200 points for a dead end. Just discarding a dead end. You know, there's 10 dead ends. That's an extra 10 cards in a deck that you have a possibility of discarding with a key and getting more points. Just because you're using the dead end expansion. And then there's the intersection variant. You get, so I'm not sure if this might be just for using the intersection. Then it makes sense. So, because that's a harder mode where you get 30 additional points if a Crossroads is used. I think you don't get the 30 points normally. So that's fine because it's a little harder. But what the intersection does, let me show you. It means a Crossroad can only be played in the second part of the series. So you might get a few more points there using that, but I think in the end it's going to be a lot easier to get points by not turning that on. So my problem is that the game rewards you for taking the easy route in all of this. Because I'm just going to play a regular game for you, not pay attention to points, and just play to win with as many cards left as possible. See how it goes. Okay, so here, losing cards is not a good thing. I needed those moons, so we'll see. This might have been bad for me. I might lose because of that. You have to pay attention closely to what you have. So I'm gonna use a key because I think I have enough. Ah! Again, I'm playing not for points. It's in my mind. I am thinking about them, but I'm not playing for points. I'm playing to win. But pay attention to the points as I play to see how it affects the game. Okay, so this is what I mean. I just discarded the nightmare. I know what's ahead. I know that I don't need any more reds. I can put that here. And now, get a blue. But look what happens because I did that. I'm back, I broke the chain. Broke the chain, so now my points are lower. You also get extra points for opening an extra door, I noticed, which makes no sense. Why would I want to do that? Sorry about the noise. Okay, so all I have left is that blue door. Should be fine, right? But look how low my score is right now. Even though I think this is a pretty good game, I think I played pretty well. Look at all these keys I have left to use. And there, I could win right now. Easy as pie. If I continued and did another green, or got rid of, here, look what happens. I can get rid of that guy for an extra, oh, and I get more for using a moon, so now I'm going to use a moon. And I got rid of that, so I got 200 extra points, but it's dumb because I wasted a card. I now ended up with fewer cards at the end, which is stupid. But I think it makes more sense than the end. So I think I played pretty well here, and yet, look how low my score is. Look at the leaderboards. My high score is 8960. Right now it's number 19. I got that by doing this. So you can play either alone, or you can activate either or glyphs or the Crossroads. Now, the Crossroads on their own I'm finding pretty boring. And anyways, for this I want to show you how this is so much easier to score big if you use both expansions without worrying about much. Basically, I've lost very few of these without even paying attention to how many cards I've used. With the regular mode, the original game, I'm constantly checking how many keys I have left, how many moons I have left, because you have to pay attention to that. Here, you don't really. So let me show you. So let's see, pay attention to the score. I'm going to try to get a high score, or at least decent score. Oh, there we go, a door. Combining the two makes it so much easier. You really have a lot less to worry about. Maybe that's why they introduced the scores, I don't know. So here we go. 80 for that. Feels like they're micromanaging every move. So now my multiplier is working. My chain, I'm getting 100 more for each move. There we go, door. Another door. For getting rid of a nightmare that way. Not holding it in your hand, but actually using a prophecy. Oh, I guess I'll use it. Could have put it back in and gotten more points. That's what drives me nuts. Doesn't make sense because you want to save your cards. The whole idea of the game is to save your cards, and the game is like, no, use your cards. It's better to use your cards, not save them. What the hell? Okay, so now I have all these red keys, which again I could use. Oh, it's really weird. So I'll get rid of, now that I know, I'm not going to use the door. It's really, really dumb. It's so easy if there's a wild card. All we need is green, so let's see what happens. Nope. Using anything besides green or wild cards at this point, just for oh, there we go. Just one left, and to not break the chain, we use that. Who cares about that? And there we go. I mean, does the score really reflect what I did? Did that really deserve 1,000 points just for that? Did it really? Still not that great because my high is like almost 9,000. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. The points, they're just, doesn't make any sense. If you play the glyphs alone, you're gonna have a harder time getting a high score. If you play the base game, you're really gonna have a hard time getting a high score. If you play the Crossroads, less so. It's an easy game. You have fewer doors to open, but you're still, I think the fact that you have more cards with the two combined expansions means you're always gonna get a better score because you have all those extra doors. With the variant, the intersection variant, that might give you a little bit extra, I'm not sure, but it's going to be harder to get those and to keep your chains going. So I think basically going the easiest route is going to give you the highest score, and it's maddening. The game should reward you for... I don't even know why it needs to reward you. They could have just separated them into different leaderboards or something, different statistics, I don't know. But the point system as it is does not make sense. It really does not make sense. The game itself, I still like the game, but it's very distracting, and the ads also are very distracting when they pop up. But I want there to be something... I mean, it should reward me for playing well, for having more cards at the end, or for winning more often, just for winning, not for playing faster, for doing it specifically how you want me to do it. It takes the simplicity out of this game. It used to be a nice, pure, solitaire game where you just worry about winning, and the cards were a nice thing also, because you can see, oh, try to not waste cards. Now, especially with the glyphs and the Crossroads together, it's basically saying, yeah, go ahead, waste cards. That's not a problem, because you're just trying to get chains. You're not really... chains and throw out nightmares and dead ends. You're not really worrying about the card so much, whether you have enough left. And all my higher scores have come from the glyphs together with the new Crossroads. It's annoying. Like, I don't know. I hope they do something to change it. Because right now, it really doesn't make any sense the way it is. It just doesn't. Why you get rewarded for certain things and not others? Like, why? It used to be the reward was winning. The reward was doing well. When you took a risk and it paid off, that was your reward. Now it's like you're only supposed to take the risks that they want you to take, and that's really frustrating. But anyway, this is a long enough video. It's already a half hour. I have more to say on my website because this has really gotten me riled up. This is one of my favorite games, and it's really hard to see like something you like so much get kind of massacred with... like, did they test this with players? Because it feels really, really off. I don't mind if they add a scoring system or something, but work on it so it really feels right, so it really makes sense, so you feel like there's a reason for it and it's not just some gimmick. But anyway, yeah, Onirim, check it out. The expansion is only $1, but I don't know. I still honestly prefer the first two because this feels much easier. And then the scoring, whatever, maybe you like it, I don't know. But if you enjoyed this, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks, bye bye.